Hi guys, and welcome to another video by channel Vegan and Frodo. Thanks again for being here on my channel. Thanks for sharing your positive vibes with me. Hopefully you are having a beautiful, wonderful day. Whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just enjoy it. Be grateful for another day on this beautiful, amazing planet. Another day to make right choices, to make better choices, and to just experience, like have more experience in this world and seeing what happens. So today's video is going to be on a slightly different topic to what I usually make videos on. It's going to be on how to handle moving to another country. So myself, I have definitely got an experience of that. I have moved from Russia to New Zealand when I was a teenager, and then in my early 20s I moved here to Australia from New Zealand as well. And I guess there are different moves, because the first one was when I was a kid, and obviously you have parents. I had my amazing mom with me, and she took care of a lot of things. And when I moved here, it was a slightly different situation. But basically what I want to talk about is just maybe six different six different tips on how to handle moving to another country, and maybe things that I would advise to kind of get a month, get sorted, and just keep in mind, really, right? So number one, how to handle moving to another country. So number one, I would advise to research the place that you're planning to move to, and if you have the ability and the opportunity, talk to the locals. So it could be through social media if you don't know anyone in real life who lives there. If you have like some friends or family members or whatever, or even someone from your friends group that lives where you live now, but that person maybe used to live in the place you want to move to. That could be really helpful and very, very good. Think of everyone you know, and perhaps you'll be introduced to someone who is from that area or who used to live in the area, and just ask them lots and lots of questions, just like about what's the vibe they're like, what's the culture they're like. Hopefully you've visited the place you're planning to move to, but if you're not, like, obviously get as much information on you as possible. Like, sometimes it can be very invigorating and exciting to go somewhere where you don't know anything about the place and you don't know anyone there, and you just hope that everything works out, and very often it does. But I personally like to do a bit of research, and I think it's helpful when you do that bit of research yourself. And it is, you can research many different things, like what people do there socially, what kind of sports people play, what kind of, what's the culture like in terms of theatre and restaurants, and just what different areas and suburbs are in that new place, and where is it, I don't know, closer to nature, closer to a mountain you're gonna climb on your bike. Whereabouts is the closest river or a pond. Just things that you might be able to relate to, that you would enjoy. For example, here in Brisbane we have a very, very big social, cultural community, I guess, if you can say it. There are a lot of different things going on, and if you wanted to do some water sports, the ocean's not very far, and there's some sports that you can do on the river. There's definitely a lot of rock climbing that's happening out indoors and outdoors. There's the Latin dancing. There is a lot of cycling. Okay, see, these are the things that I kind of am involved in, so I know about them. But there's just so many different things that you can kind of get yourself amongst. There's a lot of theatre happening and a lot of cultural things. So whatever you're into, just research the area and be ready for new experiences. See, that's another big one. Don't be afraid of trying new things, because that is how you expand your horizons. It's exactly what I wanted to say. Expand your horizons. You learn new things. You become a more well-rounded person, and you just have new experiences, you meet new people, make new friends, and it's just something new. Like, could be anything really. Like, I used to be afraid of jet skiing. That's ridiculous, right? But after a couple of times when I turned too fast and I fell off the jet ski in water, and I realized that it's not gonna freaking hurt because it's water and I know how to swim, duh. I stopped being afraid of it, and I love jet skiing now. And I love skydiving. I don't know if you know that. I love skydiving. I think it's amazing and brilliant, and everyone should definitely try it at least once in their lifetime. So, number 2, things working out versus being prepared. So, I, again, am one of those people that likes to be prepared, but sometimes I just wing it. I go to a new place, or like when I go traveling, and I just see what happens. But to be quite honest, I really do like being prepared. Like, that makes me feel much, much better. I love adventure, but I also like being safe in a way in my adventures, if that makes sense. So working out the new job, working out accommodation, making sure you have enough savings. Okay, I am a believer that things work out just exactly the way they're supposed to work out, but it doesn't mean you need to tempt the universe and make it harder than it needs to be on yourself. So work out, I don't know, look into jobs that you want to apply for jobs, ideally find a job before you move to a new place. Look into different accommodations, different areas to live in. Maybe don't lock yourself in for a very long contract before you visited the place, right? But be somewhat prepared. I think job would be more important than savings in the job. So look that up and be prepared if you're one of those people who likes being prepared. Get outside of your comfort zone. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a really good one as well. Because when you are used to your routine and the place where you're living, and you know how everything's happening and how everything's done in this town or the city or wherever you're living, it's sometimes when you move somewhere new, it can be very, very scary to even go outside because everything just seems so different and foreign, and you don't even know where to begin. Like, I remember when I just moved to Brisbane, and especially when after splitting with the boyfriend I had at the time, like, everything was just so confusing, and I was just like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do now? So I just threw myself out there. I started doing all these new things. I joined a few communities, you can call them, in the area, and I started like interacting with different kinds of people to figure out which people I felt like I could most relate to, but at the same time I felt I had most in common with. And I think that is very important, kind of finding people that are on the same page in the area where you're living. And I think Facebook is incredible for that. Like, social media is so good, because you can put out that message out there of who you are or who you want to meet. And you can obviously, like, if you're a vegan cyclist, you can just go, I don't know, Melbourne vegan cyclist, or I don't know, Ontario vegan cyclist, or Ottawa vegan cyclist, or whatever. Like, there's so many groups out on Facebook. And if there isn't one, you can start one, or, you know, if there is not specifically vegan cyclists, you can just search like for local vegan groups or whatever, or dancing groups or rock climbing groups or whatever you're into. There's a couple of good apps. One of them is Meetup. A lot of people use that and have made friends that way. So that's very helpful if you would like to try out something new, and, you know, there's just people meeting up in the area, going out and like doing a couple things, and it could be bowling or movies or dinner or whatever, things like that, and you can just kind of see what happens from there. But whatever you do, get outside of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to try new things, try new adventures, new sports. Like, I even went off and played like for a basketball team for a little bit, not very far from where I live, just because it was something new and it scared me at the time, and I was just like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. And at the end of the day, it was a lot of fun, and I had fun, but I fell in love with cycling much more. So I just obviously had to prioritize and choose one that I liked the most, because I also want to do dancing. I love dancing. Anyway, it is, yeah, so going outside of your box. can be outside of your comfort zone. Outside of your comfort zone can be very scary, but can also be beautiful and can be very, very helpful. Accept that not everything may go smoothly. That is an important one. Like, I always like to strive for, you can say, perfection, or for the best of what I can get out of myself. But at the same time, when you realize that not everything depends on you, when you live in a society, when there is like all these different people and all these different things happening around you, you can't always just be, okay, everything I do, like, it all depends on me. When there are outside sources influencing your situation, you can't get grumpy and angry at yourself that you're not at the planned point. Oh, see, that's why I get in trouble with my planning. But like that you're not where you thought you would be at a certain time. So what you need to do is just to accept that you're at exactly where you need to be, and as long as you're doing your best every single day, every single, all the time, you trying your best, whether it is to make new friends, get a new job, find a good apartment with a nice flatmate, or whatever it is. Just accept that not everything may go smoothly, but if you try your best, it will go as good as it possibly can at that particular moment, right? It's all about timing as well. Like, it's good to get the timing right. So perhaps you're waiting for a correct job to be available, or the right apartment to be available in the exactly perfect location for you. So not everything that you think that you want to begin with, in fact, what you need. So accept that and allow things just happen the way they're supposed to, basically. All right, keep in touch. Keep in touch. I think it is incredibly important to keep in touch with your relatives and old long distance friends when you go somewhere new, because sometimes when you go somewhere new where you don't know anybody, you feel isolated. You feel like there's no one else in the world and no one cares and no one knows you, and whatever you do, it doesn't make a change, it doesn't make a difference. So in times like that, when you're feeling like you are starting to get a little bit lonely or whatever, or some, similar kind of feelings, it is important to get in touch with your family and your friends. And it's good to keep in touch because, especially when you're somewhere new and you don't really have friends, and it's nice and it's incredible that we live in the age where it is very easy and it's very available. Things like Skype, Facebook, you name it, WhatsApp, Viber, whatever app you want to use on your phone or on your laptop. It's all out there available. If you don't really have good internet connection, you can go to the library, you can go to a cafe or somewhere where there is internet connection, and you can send emails, you can give calls on the phone to your relatives and to your family and friends and stuff everywhere in the world, and it is quite amazing. So definitely do that. And it is, even if you don't move to a new place and you decide to watch this video, call your family and friends regardless, because it's important to keep people that matter to you in your life, even if you just call them for a little bit, time to time, every whatever period of time. Okay, and let's go to the last one, because this video is getting way too long. Embrace the change and have an adventure, because that is the most beautiful, exciting and amazing thing in the world. So embrace it, have fun with it. Whatever will be, right? Sometimes we can't control everything, only we can guarantee that there's always going to be change happening, and whatever change it will always be for the best. Even if we don't know at the time that it is for the best, later on we're gonna realize that it was for the best, and we'll also realize what we've learned from those lessons, how we have grown, how we have improved. And I would most definitely 100% recommend everyone moving time to time, because if you feel like it is what you want to do deep down, because it teaches you a lot about yourself. and it challenges you in a lot of ways, but it is also the most exciting, fun, and amazing thing that can happen to you and that you can allow to happen in your life. Hope this has been helpful and you enjoyed this video, and remember to stop counting calories, start counting hills, count your adventures, count your passions, and hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day, whatever you're doing. Lots of love to you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.